Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is, wherever you are when you find this video. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a reaction video to somebody else's video. We're going to be reacting to Mister Mugsy's video about the top 5 things that Warhammer Fat Shark needs to do with Dark Tide in 2024. And for my money, and I pretty much agree, I will tell you flat out right now, I pretty much agree with overwhelmingly with all of it. I do have a few provisos here and there, but by and large. Propend.
Good day, lads. With 1 year down the drain and nearly able to pull itself out of the dregs of hell with a positive anniversary update sending recent reviews to very positive, while all total reviews being mixed.
Now, we've lost player base. There is no ifs, ands, buts, or any way around it. Because Fat Shark did not deliver on everything they promised at launch. It was way too buggy at launch, at official launch. Now, I will preface this by saying, one, a friend and fellow streamer bought the game because I was too strapped for cash at the time to buy it for myself and wasn't going to be able to get it until Christmas in 2022. So she got it for me so I could play with the crew. With her and her crew. Which I did. So I did not let the bugs bug me as much, simply probably because I didn't have to pay for it up front. I lived with it. But they shouldn't have released it when they did, as buggy as it was. They should have delayed release until January of this past year. So right now we'd be on exactly a year out.
Fat Shark can continue the growth if it keeps things going at a steady pace. Maybe one day we'll be able to see reviews to overwhelmingly positive. These are going to be my top 5 choices for Fat Shark to implement to see Dark Tide rise to the heights of greatness. If you have others that you think would be better to see as a change, put them in the comments. Just keep it carking civil. So let's get into the top 5 things Dark Tide needs to implement over the course of 2024 to see continued growth and encouragement to play within the community. Number 5. This one is possibly the easiest and laziest thing for Fat Shark to accomplish, which is why it is at the number 5 spot. This is so simple, even you will say, yeah, that's pretty easy. They should do it. A new map every quarter of the year. That is 4 maps a year. Pretty simple. With their design plan to have one large map zone and make the pathing through that zone go in varied directions to achieve an end, they are able to decide what way we go through their big pile of chunk. We've 3 desert maps, and I'd like to see 1 to 2 more, and we would love to see more of the carnival. There's got to be more of it than just the 2 ranges. You can give it.
I'd like to see maybe 1 more map on the desert, because the desert maps are by far my personal least favorite. Mugsy feels differently than I do on this one, obviously, but maybe 1 more map on the desert. I'm not all that thrilled with the desert maps. Carnival, yeah, I agree with them.
There's 2 to 3 more maps of the carnival. I'd love to see those. We all know the maps are big enough for you guys to put more maps out of the maps you already have. Well, I should say terrains. You already have. Now, that being said, with each map, you can also release new additive modes, like all Pogswalkers, or Elite Only, or give us shorter levels that have multiple monstrosity fights. In fact, shorter levels all in all wouldn't be such a bad idea. The maps don't...
All elites, I suppose. All poxwalkers? No, are you insane, Mugsy? I hate those fucking things. Ugh.
need to be 15 to 20 minutes long. You can do 5 to 10 minutes and still have them be insanely enjoyable. You just have to take the risk. There are ways you can do it. Give us an entire run where we have to bring, let's say, some fuel rods from one point to the next point, and we have to defend the fuel rod, and it can only be dropped for, let's say, 15 seconds at a time before it detonates, so it can't touch the ground for too long, so you have to play hot potato. That'd be a fun game, mate. Take it, please. Just have it be a 5 to 10 minute walk through a giant hallway for us to get down to the other end where we got to put on a new power grid. Something like that. You can have fun with it and create new maps. Number 4.
Let's see. New maps. Now, I personally believe from the boxes. Actually, I'll cover this later.
Have to play hot potato. That'd be a fun for us to get down to the other end where we have fun with it and create. Oh. This is one that you have in Vermintide 2 that really needs to come in to Dark Tide. And that's an actual map selection. Let's all be honest with each other here. Waiting on the hub and seeing no maps you want to play, or modifiers along with them, is disappointing. I, for one, love doing a daily Enclave and Boros, because both the journey and the final area are just so damn fun to play. Being able to choose the maps we want to play, rather than manual or a surprise through random selection, would be nice. And you can filter through the random match players into these lobbies, so no one has to worry about not getting a team and not having fun or succeeding. Doing this will make a lot of people happy, and will let us play the maps that we need to play to finish off penances. Number 3.
Okay. I can see where Mugsy's coming from and agree with it. I actually kind of like the randomized maps for the most part. Because, let's be real here, the Empire is not going to give you your choice of missions. The Inquisition is going to say, go here, go there, fight, win, die if you must, I don't care. Because that's the way the Empire rolls. Of course, that's also the way Chaos rolls. But, in reality, the way it's working in this one, map-wise, is the way it would work if the Empire were real. And I kind of like that aspect of it. Do I have my favorite maps? Oh, abso-fraggin-lutely. And right now I'm having a brain fart and can't think about it. I can't think of it, which map it is right this second off the top of my head. But it's the what I call the train yard mission, where we got to go seize the train. By far, my favorite map in the game. Bar none. Especially when I'm running my vet. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate any of the maps, but although like I said, the desert maps for me are on the low end. Now, they do need to be more consistent with maps. And I'm going to get into here something Mugsy's going to touch on later in the video. Near the end. We have 5 class slots. Do I believe we're getting a 5th? Absolutely. And that's as far as I'll go right here. Are we getting... And he's right, we need new maps. I will go this far. I would say, Mugsy, that what they've hinted at in the last couple of... To Mugsy and everybody else, what they've hinted at with the last couple of Voxes from Wormwood. The last 2 or 3. Is that we're getting a whole new another whole new area. I think we're getting lowest part of the hive. And if we don't, I'm going to be pissed. I think we're going to get lowest part of the hives. And I think we're going to get another faction. Because what those Voxes hint at are gene stealer cults. Pretty much, at least in my circle of friends that play the game and that are deep into the lore, we all pretty much, and way deeper into the lore than I am, they pretty much agree that what we're getting is gene stealers, and then the beast that is hunting Wormwood is Lictor. So I think we're getting that this year. Fat Shark, get off your ass and get it out. I'm not playing nice. Move it. I want it by June. End of the second quarter. Please.
3. Actual new weapons. Not just marks. There are so many weapons we can get access to. And many of them have already been data mined to already be in the game files. If you want to release them slowly with each map, hey, you get a twofer with the community and earn back some goodwill. So that way people aren't harping on you too hard. It's not a bad idea. A map with a weapon or 2 looks fan-freaking-tastic to the community that wants to play with all the toys the Imperium of Man has to offer.
Right. And this is, and I'm going to touch upon class specific on this one. It's something I think everybody can agree with. We need more toys. Abso-fraggin-lutely. They slow rolled us on the crack grenades. Those should have been in the game from day one. No ifs, ands, or buts here, Fat Shark, if you catch this video. Crack grenades should have been in the game from day one. But one of the things I touch upon, because one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite classes to play, and I like them all to a certain extent, and I'll put Zealot at the bottom of the list for me on this one. But of the other 3, the one I feel gets shortchanged the most, and you can agree or disagree with this, and Mugsy might disagree with me on this if he happens to run across this, is the Ogryn. The Ogryn got the short stick. It has fewer weapons choices. On both the melee end and the projectile weapon end. And what I am going to touch upon with that one real quick, briefly, is one of the things I would like to see for the Ogryn And I cannot for the life of me remember if this is lore or not, because I'm not deep into the lore like some people, like probably Mugsy here. Is an ogre-sized melta. And frankly, an ogre-sized melta would basically just be a freaking Space Marine melta. Two. I like the slab shield. But here's my problem with it. We only get one choice of melee weapon to carry with it. I personally would rather be able to carry that shield. I want the option. Even if you come out with new complete packages, so there's like 3 or 4 packages of slab shield. Or types of slab shield. What I would personally like to see is the option to carry the power maul with the shield. And one of the knives. I personally, within the game, prefer the Bull Butcher. But I would like the option to be able to carry a different weapon with my shield. Is it a coding issue? Yep, probably. Fucking run a beta server and let those of us who are interested in that kind of crap also run the beta servers from Steam, because you can switch back and forth between builds within Steam, as I recall. Because I did it for a while with Slay the Spire, where I would play in the beta builds. That one is the one I feel gets most shortchanged, is the ogre. And I'm having brain stump here. What I was going to say, but we'll continue on.
2, its rank and file. And let's be honest, we are basically just rank and file with a pretty little necklace when we do beta. Man, that inquisitorial signet does look so fucking good. Number 2. Now, every time I do a cosmetic lore video, I harp on this almost every single time. High quality, free, earnable cosmetics and alternate skin colors and designs in the commissary shop and through penances. Never have I ever felt so damn blue-balled when it comes to earnable gear that looks good. Even Blizzard Entertainment launches kick-ass looking gear that gets the player base excited to do the content. Just look at Asmongold. Every time there's an expansion and he looks at the gear sets, the boy gets excited every time he sees a new set. Sometimes he shits on them, sometimes he likes them. That's how the player base works. We'll like some of the free stuff, we'll hate some of the free stuff. But you have to give us free earnable cosmetics that look cocking good. You left us to hang and dry when you released the Traitor Curse update.
Yeah, they fucked us on
Only providing a certain amount of players the ability to get this blue water soldier outfit that looks like crap.
No, I got
in
it,
my
but I didn't
opinion.
like it.
Yeah, it's an opinion. Not even the full community got it. And
that was fucking wrong. That one should have been across all the platforms. It's a fucking cross-platform game. All the platforms should have got that one. And frankly, Fatchart fucked the dog on that one, because that one was supposed to have been released at the beginning of the goddamn game. Upon launch, as I recall. We didn't get it then. They waited until almost a year later.
with the Traitor Curse update, you didn't launch any free earnable cosmetics with penances. You didn't even make new penances. You gave us a...
Nope, they're really lazy on that one.
new dangly doily next to the character portrait, but there's no need for that. It's not that important. We want the characters to look cool. Then sure, you can start adding banner stuff, portrait stuff, little dingly doilies next to the portraits, sure. But I feel like you've forgotten that you have this commissary character that you changed around not too long ago. You first had her be alive, and she dies, eh? And then you've pretty much forgotten her after she got the big old servitor treatment. You haven't touched the poor girl's stocks since launch. Give her, and us, some love. Give us new stuff to pay with our orders, so it doesn't all just go to weapons all the time.
Okay. I agree with Mugsy full-heartedly on this one. We all know that the cosmetics suck, especially for weapons. They've given us a few for like the Zealot and the Vet. And I'm not a huge fan of the Psyker outfits. Well, some of them. Or at least the headpieces. Frankly, as a Psyker, I want to be able to wear a commissar's hat. But on the weapons front, cosmetics-wise, is where we've really been screwed. Mugsy's right. They need to give us more free shit, more cosmetics, good quality high quality cosmetics in the commissary. That is something they need to work on. But one of the easiest goddamn things they can do, the laziest thing they can do, and one, frankly, that is also something that should have been implemented since launch, or should have been coded for since launch, is everything that is in hallowettes shop. Everything. Should, at the end of every quarter. So they've been rolling out stuff slowly throughout the months, during the quarters. At the end of every quarter, everything that has been in the Aquila shop, at hallowettes, automatically goes to the commissary forevermore. For those who do not have a lot of money, like me, I got a little bit of money for Christmas, so I went nuts with the cosmetics. A little bit, but not as nuts as you think. But for those who don't have a lot of money to spend, or don't have a lot of money to spend, all that shit every quarter should go straight to the commissary at the end of every quarter. There also needs to be more skins for the newer weapons. It took them, 3 months after they added the Deimos sword before we finally got an actual fucking skin for it? Really? Don't get me wrong, I love the damn skin, but it shouldn't have taken 3 months. Because we need more cosmetics for the weapon. For me personally, it's the cosmetics for the weapons, just because all we get is the fucking Fireways camo or the Crucius camo, and that's all we have for freebies. And that's ridiculous. Every quarter, end of every quarter, everything that was in the in hallowettes shop for that quarter goes to the commissary. So that means from launch day, November 29, 2022, up through December 2023, should be in the fucking commissary right now. All of it. Weapon skins and outfits should all now be in the commissary. This is something that Fat Shark really, really, really needs to do. And again, should have been implemented from the fucking get-go. Is it more coding? Yes. Is it more coding that could go wrong? Yes. But, like Mugsy says, be like Nike. Just fucking do it!
You can do this, Fat Shark. It's not a bad idea to do. Free earnable high quality cosmetics for everyone. They just look good. Stop worrying about the cash flow. Focus on the free earnable stuff. You can do this. I've got faith in you. Alright, we're on to the big night.
I don't mind them doing both, so long as everything that's in the cash shop eventually makes its way to the commissary. But yes, there does need to be more free shit in the commissary. Good quality stuff, and not just stuff from the cash shop moved over.
Number one, let's get to it. The one thing that the God Emperor himself would be ashamed of you for not improving is the carking crafting system. This includes Call of Dutifying the weapons. I'm not sorry about this, but the fact that the most popular mod next to the dumbass scoreboard is weapon customization, and you still refuse to do anything or change your position is beyond stupid. You need to not only implement weapon customization, but also make easy and grand changes to your crafting system. I'll even guide you along.
That right there was why I don't want a Poxburster only mode.
On the way. Subpoint 1. Plasteel should only be used to actually advance the weapon from grey to gold, while still providing the normal perk upgrades. This doesn't mean you do some dumb carking thing like increase its cost. No. You leave the cost as is. Remove the diamantine requirement and increase your material payouts by 100% on missions. Or, if you don't want to do that for some bizarre reason, have Hadron return plasteel to us at a reasonable amount by tier of weapons. Okay? Do it. Just do it. It won't hurt a non-existent trading community. It won't stop people from buying weapons endlessly in search of a good rolled 380, but it will encourage people to pursue upgrades to fully max out all the weapon perks and blessings. Which brings us to subpoint 2. Diamantine should only be used to swap perks and blessings. Leave the costs as is and increase the total output of diamantine by 25% across all maps. This is a subtle change that will encourage players to either save or experiment with their weapons more aggressively with each new patch, and desire to change new loadouts while still running with their favorites, or even make an abomination weapon as a challenge. Lads, when you do this, don't do 2 kits at a time. Always have one tried and true tool to support the team. Okay? Please. Subpoint 3. This is the most important part, Fat Shark. The one you really need to turn your listening ears on for. Ready? Unlock the carking, stupid, fragging limitations on the damned crafting system. It does nothing for anyone except make us feel like we've wasted our carking time. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen a post about a player feeling like their time has been wasted, not only playing the game, collecting materials, finding a good weapon to upgrade, then going to upgrade it on an RNG system that then gives them all tier 1 perks or tier 2 perks and no tier 3s that they can settle down with. Because Hadron, who if we don't sweet talk and let her touch our toasters, will frag us harder than a Krieger fragging their commissar for cowardice. I get she doesn't like us. I hear Violet enough. But this system of punishment...
Yeah, you do hear that quite often, don't you? Now, on this, I understand it, and I believe he's right. If you've got a high enough class weapon, it should not be giving you tier 1 or 2 blessings. Past a certain, because there's, for those of you, if you play the game, there's leveling up from the gray, which also increases the number. But if you get a drop one that's got a higher number and it's a blue or it's a blue or a green weapon, or even a purple, or green weapon or purple, that's a high enough number, especially purple. If you get a really good purple weapon that's rolled a really high stat number, that motherfucker should roll nothing but 4s. I'm sorry.
That we have to try and try and try again is a poor system to trick players into thinking they're having fun, or getting them to not engage with it so you can remove it in a later patch saying it just wasn't working. It truly feels like you're waiting very patiently to have a reason to remove the crafting system that you dug your heels in and tried to convince us we didn't want it. It feels like such a slap in the face that it almost seems like you're the parent waiting to slap their child for complaining.
I don't know that they will. I don't know that they won't remove the crafting system. If they do, it's going to piss me off. Because I do enjoy it. In crafting. I enjoy hunting up the resources for it. I'm a loot goblin. So on that, we'll just have to wait and see if Mugsy's right and they're going to release the game. Sorry, I stepped away from the mic. So we're going to have to wait and see if Mugsy's right on this one, whether they're going to release the game. And I love this graphic right here. I was never a fan of Pokemon. But I'm a member. I watch a bunch of VR chat streamers, and there's one whose community I'm particularly active in. I swore I was not going to play Pal World, even though it was Pokemon with guns and it looked entertaining. And that particular community has picked up quite a few in the younger set from 18 to, because it's an 18 plus community, from 18 to say 25 or so. And I call them all kids. And they call me Papa. Some of them. They call me Papa Wolf. And I said I wasn't going to get it. And one of the kids was like, well, what are the odds? I said, somewhere between slim, none, and non-existent. She said, so there is a chance, right? I said, no. And then the streamer who owns that Discord says, Papa, do you think you'd like it? I'll buy it for you if you think you'll like it. I want to try it. And I folded like a cheap suit and bought it because I had some money on Steam still left over from that I hadn't spent from Christmas. Most of it, actually. And I'm enjoying the hell out of Pale World. I won't stream it simply because I want it as a relaxed game that I can play with that community. With that little family there. So it'll never get streamed, but it is a lot of fun. Sorry, that was a sidebar.
Got them Pokemon when they clearly asked you for Pal World, and then call us ungrateful. Just do it. Take your foot off the brakes and watch the players thank you for this one thing. Goodwill.
You know, I hate the fact that Nike's Just Do It is become the Shia LaBeouf Just Do It. Because I don't like Shia LaBeouf.
Will come your way if you get rid of the locks and limitations on weapon customization. People will eventually forget a lot of the stupid comments like, this isn't Call of Duty, or stop pearl clutching. To be honest, that last one is probably going to haunt your reputation for a long, long, long time.
Possibly.
Longer than Moro's never-ending string of heroics. That being said, number one is the most important thing for you to implement, Fat Shark. It really is. Players need to have fun when engaging with all your systems. I only engage with cosmetic shop lore reads because it's the only lore you've implemented in an easily accessible way. You don't have a way for us to engage with the journals or the Vox transmissions in-game, which is dumb. Please put them in-game. It would be...
And they've got plenty of space on the deck that they can add a room for the lore stuff. And the Voxes, where we can access the Voxes. I mean, look how much empty space when you're running around there is. There's that little section where there's that guy looking at what looks like books in between, I think, hallowettes and the commissary. Put it there for the lore and the Voxes. Make that where we can access that stuff.
Be so nice to be able to watch the update through a station, because I would do that rather than going on YouTube every time. Now that's it for my top 5. There's plenty of questions you might be asking, is why not X, why not Y, and I'll get into it, especially when Y is something I've covered before. X is, there will never be single player in Dark Tide. Ever. You might ask, and you might get upset, but hear me out. For those of you who keep getting upset that they promised single player and single player's not coming. It's never gonna come. And if I'm wrong, I will make a new video saying I was wrong, but it's never going to come, lads. Hear me out. Fat Shark will either provide you with unoptimized bots that don't use their grenades or abilities, leaving you bugged, especially when the game is designed to be multiplayer. Or you will get bots so overtuned that no one will play the multiplayer aspect of.
Oh, no, what'd I do? Shit.
Good day, lads. Law reads, because it's the only law you've implemented in an easily unoptimized bots that don't use their...
He's right here. That was one of the problems Alien's fire team had. The bots past a certain point were absolutely useless when you played with bots. And the developer for Alien Fireteam Elite was not pushing enough did not push enough content. They kept on giving us new modes, but they didn't give us they gave us one DLC with a new setup with a new campaign. There should have been a lot more to that. That was their fatal mistake. It's why there's almost no player base left for that game. Now they've since patched the bots, and the bots are actually useful. But
reaction time or cooldown of the bots. Bots will not have skills. They will not have varied loadouts. They will not know when is the right time to use kit. It will just be used. So if you want to play a single player game, Ultramarine is around the corner. Fat Shark will not put in the effort to make the bots worth having around. Even if you wanted it to be single player, you will be left high and dry wondering why the bots aren't using the best kit possible, or don't have the best loadouts, or don't have the best skill system. It's not something Fat Shark's gonna put the energy in. It's just not gonna happen. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry they lied to you and you bought the game thinking single player was coming. But it's not.
honestly, to me, single player in a horde game is pointless when half the fun is playing with friends. The point is to play with friends.
I understand you're upset, and I commiserate with you. It sucks when a game developer takes away something that they said would be in the game a little while after launch, but it happens more often than you know. The other topic is topic Y. 5th class. No, it's not going to be a rattling. Stop thinking it's going to be a rattling.
No, we've had this conversation
Stop saying it's going to be a rattling.
ad nauseum.
Stop feeling it in your bones that it's going to be a rattling. Just...
He's right. Like I just said, over top of him. Sorry. I've had this conversation ad nauseum with multiple people deeper in the lore, and I agree with them. We're not going to get them. Rattling snipers are not happening. Here's the other problem with adding rattling snipers. It's essentially just another fucking veteran that only does one thing. What's the point?
Because they've talked about it so much in the game doesn't make it true. I understand people want it, but Fat Shark has said multiple times before they hated dealing with the height mechanics in Vermintide 2, and the maps are not designed to have someone break the height system so badly by making the shortest character possible that the AI can't bend over to hit you in melee. I understand it would be fun to break it and to never get hit in melee, but they're not going to add a rattling. However, if a 5th class does arrive, it will possibly be in the form of a disgraced tech priest that belonged to Hadron, making use of the summoner mechanics from the new Necromancer in Vermintide 2. Just because the squad talked about it a lot doesn't make it true. So that's just...
Yeah, I don't think that one's happening either. Some people, and including myself, originally suggested that maybe they would... I mean, they could possibly do it, but I don't see it simply because as a tech priest, you'd have to really fuck up to be a reject. And the Mechanicus wouldn't allow anybody else to punish their problem children. So no, that doesn't work.
Something to keep in mind. I understand people want rattling snipers. Sniper gameplay does not fit well in this game. I'm sorry it doesn't. There's a lot of gameplay mechanics that just wouldn't fit. But a summoner coming in the form of a disgraced tech priest or even a hive ganger, I could see happening down the line. But a summoner coming in the form of a disgraced tech priest or even a hive ganger, I could see happening down the line.
Now there, I think, is probably what we'll end up with. I think we'll end up with a hive ganger like the main character in Necromunda Gun for Hire, where he's got that dog he can summon, or she. And I think that's where that'll end up going for a 5th class. To me, it makes the most sense. I mean, I suppose we could get a tech priest. And I wouldn't mind a tech priest that can be multifaceted and have, within the tech tree ways to set them up for mixes the way we can do the other classes. Straight attack, straight defense. A mix of the two. Or even a mix for tech priest of can send a heal bot off to somebody who needs it real quick. Something similar to the way the medics work in Alien Fireteam. The medics in Alien Fireteam Elite work where they can heal you, injecting you with the using the med kit on you, and then they pick up another med kit and it refills their and then pick up another one and it refills their healing pod, because they can use the med kits, but they also have a healing kind of generator pod thing, in allowing the medic, if you have a medic on your team, to do the healing. A, lets you stay in the fight better, and B, lets them recharge that pod. So you let them get the med kits.
Line. All in our BTs, but again, we're meant to be rejects, okay? Not someone from certain areas around. We have to be rejected characters. I do have a video on why the 5th class will be a disgraced tech priest. You can find that in the description. Alright lads, that's it for today. Those are the top 5 things that I would like to see the game implement.
I haven't seen that video. I'm going to go find it later. I've got to run after I finish recording this here in a minute.
For it to continue to grow and succeed. Shout out to the patrons. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on Patreon. You too can support the channel on Patreon by heading down in the description below. There's a link there. Shout out to the channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel here on YouTube. You can also support for free by hitting like, subscribe, the bell notification, and sharing with those who you might think might enjoy the content. Also, comment. Let me know your thoughts. Keep it civil, but let me know your thoughts down below. Alright? I will see you lads in the next video. Stay frosty, stay peppy, and keep your head on a swivel. Oh hey, did you know I also do RimWorld 40k content, where I do entire series, roleplay, voice acting, and animations, as well as full gameplay as well. Something for you to tip your toes in, if you're interested.
Alright, here we go. There is my reaction to Mugsy's video. It's a good vid. Thank you, Mugsy, for that one. I do appreciate it as a player. That is all, folks. This is your bearded wolf god Lobo. And I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.